During my time in secondary school, I was doing music as an academic discipline, but it was my passion as well, because I was doing music in church as well and playing traditional instruments with certain different local troops. So I was basically building who I was going to be later on.
There are many disciplines that come together with passion. So it's passion first, then there is hard work, there's commitment, there's showing up and doing everything that you can to ensure that both work out.
I wanted to do things. I wanted to just make art. And I didn't care whether I had the money or not, who was available, who wasn't available. If someone said they had a camera, the first thing I was thinking was, let's shoot. It was what I wanted.
I think we have to appreciate that every generation has its struggles, its advantages and what it knows. Because in the days, say, of my grandparents, it was about farming. So they would ensure that all the children had to farm before they went to school. Then it moved on to the Western form of education, which was the era of our parents. And then it's about, you're bragging about how many of your kids are in school. Yes, who is very bright, how many lawyers you have in the family, how many doctors, how many engineers, the traditional disciplines that we knew. Then there was many of those. So you have to now think outside the box. If we're all doctors, who's going to treat who? We're all engineers, who's going to do what? You get? There had to be now the other people, because everybody's probably tired during the day. And then the question is, what are they going to do in the evening?
The way the system runs today, it isn't helping anyone. It actually is dampening, and I don't know what it's doing, but the reverse of what a child should get in life. There is no encouragement for any child in the system today to go into the direction they want to go. And it isn't even giving them chance to think on their own or even to develop any thinking capacity later on in life.
It comes back to mindsets of teachers, mindsets of parents, mindsets of the students themselves, yeah? Because the biggest challenge that they'll face is people don't understand. People don't understand those things that people want to do that are outside the norm that has been set for them.
If that's what someone wants to do and it's going to make them money as their passion, so be it. Because there's a reason why God created a certain person with a certain talent. So if that particular person sits on their talent, I think it's, in a way I can say, disrespectful to God, because there's billions of people in the world and He chose you.
And if you're living what everyone else tells you to do, then you really haven't lived. And you've become a duplicate of everyone else. And we're all very unique. We all have something we can give to society, to the places that we have been born. People always searching to go somewhere else, but I think there's something so unique in us that is relevant to where we are.
Most people, even teachers, consider people, for example, who want to follow music.
For a long time, they've been considered losers' channels out of the education system. And unfortunately, some have dropped off and have not fared well in life because of the attitude of the society at large. It's not only in school, but even the parents have also been taught in the same system, so they have the same way of thinking. A child must become a doctor or a nurse or an officer or an office worker or a lawyer or something like that, which we were given by the whites when they were still colonizing us.
People who would want to follow another path are kind of locked into a box, and they tell you have to fit in it, and that if you don't fit in it, then you're not good enough, or if you don't fit in it, then you're not going to make it.
I was homeschooled. Not many people are homeschooled. So in homeschool, you're studying like till 12 p.m. and then the rest of the afternoon you're doing anything you love to do. And so my anything and everything was dancing, writing poetry, swimming, acting. And in high school, I was still dancing as part of a dance group, as part of GGW, as part of Heart of David dance group, and as part of the Kampala Ballet and Music dance team as well. And then in university, of course, I went on to do theater arts. And in theater arts, you have dance, you have music, you have drama. So it just became thicker and thicker and thicker the more I went up.
As we stand today, the Ugandan system is putting children who haven't been taught any life skills out on the platform of work. They simply have to grapple through life to find out at a very late stage that now what can I do?
If, for example, I had gone to school, I was lucky enough to study something that I was passionate about, which is the law. Those are 5 years, you get. Your parents pay tuition for 5 years. You spend money on materials for 5 years. That's a lot of money to go to school and study something that you're not passionate about, you get. Because when you come out, it becomes a loss.
I think the education system in Uganda needs to evolve the same way it's evolving the whole world over. If we stay studying about Badang, the strongest man in Singapore back in the day, I mean, it was a good story, or a legend, so to say. But I don't think we have that much time now. It's not a global village. Whether you go back to my village, or you're in New York City, or in Australia, if I release something on YouTube, you all get it at the same time. So there's no leverage anymore of saying we're in a third world country, we'll catch up later, we're still slowly changing the curriculum. There's no time.
So the education system in Uganda is lacking regulations and policies currently, and I've been looking into that. It's not built to harness people's passions and dreams, it's built to make them think tanks, which the government or some outside power can paste their ideologies onto. Whereas in a home, a kid is free to think as they like, to explore ideas, and to be guided in the right direction.
Let them expose the children to everything. And let them give children more time to play. Playtime is an explorative period where a child's development runs faster. And during that time, the children can be watched to see where they're good at.
I have a baby girl, she's 1.5 years, but even right now, I can see that there are certain things that she's interested in. You get things like football. When you tell her, oh, let's go play, she has so many toys, but I always notice she'll go for the ball. When you're outside kicking it with her Auntie Joanna, you see that she's very excited. So already I know that probably sports is something that she would want to venture into.
I've been fortunate to have a very supportive family. I come from a family of artists, so getting them to understand what I want to do and how I want to do it was not so difficult. My family's been my biggest support.
How can I get myself involved in the things that she is interested in, so that she knows that at the end of the day, I have my mother in my corner, I have my father in my corner, and that is the first support system that every child needs.
My perspective starts with my experience as a child. I was not allowed to do what I wanted. I was dictated to by my father, by my brother, by everyone around. So when a child of mine said, Mommy, I want to take this road, I did whatever I could, up to borrowing, to see that the child gets what they want.
So instead of just bombarding kids with so much work, let them be kids, let them play. There's a time to play, there's a time to study. Life is not all about books.
Compound cleaning. A child might be good at that. Housekeeping. Cooking. Just talking. Someone might be good at talking. How do you develop that talker into earning through talk?
In kindergarten, kids should play. Just play. Don't graduate from playing. Don't even wear the hat. Just play. In primary, the arts, the performing arts should be part of the curriculum, not like an extra that you do at 4 o'clock at the end of the day. It could be at 8 o'clock in the morning, you start with a music class. And then it goes on. In tertiary education, I've been talking to students at Makerere, and some of them say that they don't even have practical experience in using lighting devices or a camera. They have to go outside the university to get that. I'm like, so what are you studying at university? And they're like, oh, even most of us didn't even pass high school. I'm like, so how did you even enter the university? Like, oh, most of us don't even have a passion for arts. I'm like, why are you in the Department of PAC?
Let the holidays be longer. And these waking ups, unearthly waking ups at 5, 4, then the school shuttles drop the kids at 6 at school. Why? At the end of the day, we don't see the benefits.
Whatever steps it is that they need to make to produce people and citizens who are passionate about the different things they do in whatever sector it is, then you find that the economy runs smoothly. Instead of looking for a job, you're looking for ways to create jobs for other people. So you find that this concept, it goes beyond the surface, it goes deep. It solves things like unemployment, things like high crime rate. Why? Because all those things come about because the jobs are not there.
Actually, the system should be equipping children to think out of the box right in school.
We can't stay on the old education system and still be following concepts of the 1950s. The times have changed.